In this example, we will be traveling internationally to stay in Paris for a conference in September of 2024, and we need to add our International Hotel Per Diem to the expense report. To do so, first head over to the Travel Allowance dropdown and select Manage Travel Allowance. This will take you to the itinerary page where we will create a new itinerary. You'll want to add each new itinerary stop until you are back in your departure city. For us, the departure city will be San Diego, and the arrival city will be Paris, France. Click Save to add the stop to your itinerary. And from Paris, France, we will be returning back to San Diego. Again, saving to add the stop to our itinerary. Once the itinerary is complete, you can select Save and select Next, pressing No since we've already saved our changes. Now that this itinerary is available, let's go over into our Expenses and Adjustments tab up at the top. Here you can see the option to exclude the days if you are taking any personal days, or exclude meals that the conference or event provides. This essentially will be adding your meals and incidentals to your expense report as well, but is a necessary step along the road to add your hotel per diem. Once all of this information is confirmed for your meals and incidentals, select Create Expenses. This has now added your location-based meals and incidentals to the expense report. Now let's add our hotel and lodging expense. Select Hotel and Lodging from the expense list. On the new expense screen, fill out the required fields under the Details tab as listed. It's important to note that you will need to check the travel allowance checkbox here and add any comments to approvers or processors if necessary. You will also need to add the receipt for your hotel expense. You can upload a new receipt, select the document, open, and attach. Once your expense has been completed on the Details tab, go over to the Itemizations tab. On the Itemizations tab, we will be entering the nightly rate for the hotel expense. In this case, it was the same daily amount and there were no taxes. Our total was $1,000 and our nightly rate was $250 each night. Once we've added in our nightly rate, we can save the itemization. And from here, we can see our requested amount and save the expense. Your hotel lodging expense has been added, with $1,000 being itemized, but we still need to check one more thing. Go into the Travel Allowance dropdown and select Manage Travel Allowance. Here you can see your itinerary that you built, and on the top tabs, you can see that there's a new fourth tab, Reimbursable Allowances Summary. Click into this tab. From here, it will show you the days and location, as well as the allowance limit for each location that night. It will also show the expense total, or the amount that you are requesting for reimbursement, and the above allowable limit, which is the amount above the allowance limit that you are requesting. On the final column, it will show you the reimbursable amount, which is the amount that you will actually receive in reimbursement. In this example, our expense total is under the allowance limit, so we will receive our full requested expense total of $250 per night. But let's say that this expense total is more than the allowance limit for each of these nights in France. In this more expensive example, let's say the hotel overall costs $2,000. Under the Itemizations tab, with the total being $2,000 and each night being $500 instead of $250 per night, we can save this itemization and save the expense. Now, when we go back into the travel allowance and we go to our fourth tab in the Reimbursable Allowances Summary, we can now see that our expense total is over the allowance limit for that location. Now you can see that the above allowable limit is $24 and our reimbursable amount is not $500 like we requested, but capped at the allowance limit of $476. This is the per diem max. In the event that the allowance limit is under your total expense amount, you will need to head back into your expense type for hotel and lodging, go to the Itemizations tab, select All, and select the Edit button. From here, our amount will now be $476. Hit Next to apply and save. Now our itemization will show for $476 per night. And our itemized total has changed from $2,000 to $1,904. Let's grab this number. Going back to the Details tab, we will now need to change our total amount for the hotel expenditure to $1,904. Let's save the expense. Once back on the expense report, we can now see that our hotel and lodging expense reflects the total max allowable limit for International Hotel Per Diem in Paris, France. As a recap, if your hotel lodging expense per night was less than the allowance limit on the reimbursable allowance summary, you can request up to the full amount of your hotel lodging expense. If your hotel lodging was greater than the allowance limit listed on the reimbursable allowance summary, you will need to change your itemized per night rate to the allowance limit, and then as such, you will need to change your hotel lodging total to the itemized total. If you have any questions about hotel lodging itemization or this per diem process that is not covered in this video, please feel free to reach out to P2P Campus Care at sdsu.edu. Thank you for watching.